Our dearest, beloved, divine friends and families, in the raw, RK's Guyana Free Media, this is Sunday afternoon of October 11th, 2020. And thank God that His Excellency the President, in conjunction with the Vice President and the Prime Minister of Guyana, the Cabinet, for the sanity of the country and to save the country from flattening out, the government has decided to open up the airport effective as of tomorrow, provided the necessary protocols or rules and procedures and systems for maintenance of good health is maintained. We must give thanks to the President. We must give thanks to the opposition leader, the Prime Minister, and the Cabinet for their wise thinking. Of course, we have to expect the opposition doing their job as an opposition, and I don't want to berate them or critique them. That is what they are paid for, is to criticize and show that the government is not doing right, because it helps to keep the government in check and to prevent any kind of abuse and so forth. But as far as I'm concerned, this opening of the airport is a thing that I had personally been talking about for a while. If you recall, I wrote an article in the newspaper, and I think that also definitely had some impact, that it is necessary to open up and to also open up controllably to commerce. If people want to get sick, what can we do? But the problem is, if through their negligence they get sick, then it's us, our tax dollars, have to take care of them. So they need to be prosecuted. Every time they break the law, they need to be prosecuted, they need to be jailed, they need to be, I'm saying, taking some of the schools, turn them into stockades, lock people up for 48 hours. Every time you get somebody, not necessarily charge them and fine them to put them in economic morass or difficulties, but just lock them up. You don't have enough space, you have schools. And then the family can bring their food to them. So you just inconvenience them. Legally, you have 36, you have 3 days. Legally, you have 3 days to hold a person pending investigation, but just hold them for 48 hours. And so that will create a fear and a scare, and the message would spread very rapidly. But all in all, we need to show some discipline. We need to wear our masks and wear our masks properly. Too many people are wearing the masks at their neck. And then they will pull it up. And then if they have the COVID here, having covered the face earlier, they pull in the COVID straight into their mouth and their nose. Some will have it on the forehead. Then they'll pull it down from the forehead if the forehead had the disease, and they pull it into their mouth. Why are people so can't think? One man told me, "Oh God, I just can't breathe, man. I can't breathe." Well, when you're dead, we just do. You know, if you feel tired with it, you go into a corner where you are not near anyone and you pull the mask off. The only thing that can save us, and is a natural antibiotic or a natural vaccine, is the mask, social distancing, constant sanitizing. That's the best thing at this moment. Hoping to get an injection and to put a disease in your body, for me, that's a last resort. But look, I'm not telling nobody not to take it. I have to see a few 100 million people around the world take it first. But I'm going to maintain my distance, and I'm going to try to clean and keep as far as possible as I can. And anybody who's breaking the rule publicly and threatening the lives of others, and even their own, they need to be stockaded for 48 hours. Now, the airport is opening up. I had called for that. I think somewhere or the other, my appeal on the RK's Guyana Free Media, it went viral. I think it had an impact. I don't think my letter alone is responsible. I think the government was talking, but I think my letter in the media, my conversation on RK's Guyana Free Media might have had an impact, and they might have thought more of it. Because you're talking about destruction of the economy, you know. We are flattening out already. Money has to come from somewhere. There is no commerce. We are in trouble. There is no business. There is no commerce. Things are falling apart. And so we'll have major bankruptcies will take place. So you open it up back with rules, procedures, and systems. The economy, including flights and procedures, must be respected at all times. And I see they have the right way in that if you did it 72 hours before you fly, then you don't have to do a retest. If you did it more than 72 hours, then when you land in Guyana, you have to do a retest and bust a line at the airport. You bust a line at the airport, and when they clear you, you leave. Amidst the necessary protocols of sanitizing and masks and so on. I think the government has made a great decision here. Some people are going to say, oh, the government is doing bad. But where will the money come from? How are we going to manage? What are we going to do? Are we going to let our country be destroyed, wiped out? And then people want this from the government, and they want that from the government, and they want this money from the government, and they want that benefit from the government, and want that opportunity from the government. You know, like the government got to pay us to live instead of we paying our taxes and paying the government for them to do their work. This is another thing that's happening. We seem to think the government has to pay us to live in this country. So I'm just saying something. It is the duty of the citizens to pay taxes to finance the government. Not a government to create money to pay for people to stay home. Another thing that is happening that is disturbing is that now that they're saying they will open up back and people have to return to their jobs, they start complaining. Oh, they have to get babysitters. Oh, they have to, but all the time they were surviving. But suddenly now, they got to sweeten the staying home. And this is what I think Dr. Barjagdeo, the vice president looking after this aspect of reality, is saying people need to return to their work. I say they need to return to their work on a regular basis because they're getting too sweetened to stay home. They don't want to go back to work. Most people, when they stay home for 2 weeks annual leave, they don't want to turn back after the leave is finished. It's a human nature like that. You're sick for 2 weeks. You get 2 weeks sick leave. People like us, I work even though if I get a month sick leave. I don't stay home. I go to work. And some people are like that. But some people just looking for any opportunity to get a sick leave and they want to stay home. And when the time is up, they want some more time. They want to get sick leave again. And this is the nature of some human beings. You got to remember, what you plant, what you manifest is what you achieve. If we plant weakness and skullduggery and trickery, that is what we will receive. If we plant laziness and manipulation, that is what we will receive. But if we plant ambition, dynamo, honor, strength, and we manifest these things into our hearts and our souls, this is what we will receive. Whatever we achieve is due to what we manifest in our head and our mind. We just can't want to sit down and ask, oh God, let me stay home for the rest of my life and get free money. Oh God, or Shiva, or Allah, or Krishna, build me a house. Yes, you can manifest it, and if in time, when you cleanse the head and the mind of all the filth of the debris of filth that was built up over the years and the decades, and clear, then you can manifest what you want and you can achieve. I'm sure the President, Dr. Irfan Ali, had a dream to become president. He manifested it. Dr. Barjagdeo manifested it. And they do all they could have and worked hard to get it. We've seen opposition leader, Mr. Harman, has become the opposition leader, even though it's supposed to be Minister Lawrence. So sometimes people use games and tricks to achieve what they have. And everything they do then is always in trouble, in failure. It's like confusion and disgust because you use manipulation and trickery to get a position. Or to achieve something by thievery. And you eat it. And you feed your children it. Who will suffer? Your children, you have to suffer. You have to earn rightfully, honestly, in dignity. And that's how it goes. So we have to manifest the good. We have to work with our government. In this case, we have a good government. We have a democratic government. We've seen how they are moving in every department, every village, everywhere to meet everybody. And this is what the president told me once, if I put 10 street lamps in an Indo-Guyanese area, you bet me the indigenous is going to get 10. And I bet you the Afro-Guyanese communities or the PNC, APNU community, because he's going to serve the APNU community as well as those who voted for him. That is wisdom. That is wisdom within hearts and minds, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to say congratulations to the government. I'm happy that I wrote that letter. COVID-19, airport opening up. You recall, before they announced, my letter was published about COVID-19 and we have to return to normal life or the economy will be flattened out and destroyed. Not too long after, they announced it and that they're opening up back the airport. I think my letters have some impact, but I think also because it's positive and it's impactful to the universe. And the universe sets about putting the wisdom into the heads of leaders, and the leaders themselves thinking about it, all now combine together to produce good. I salute our president, our vice president, our prime minister, and all the cabinet for trying to save Guyana. Minister Edgel, I feel like you're my brother, you know? I feel you're my brother. I can kiss you on your forehead out of respect and dignity because, you know, I was just thinking of sending out a letter to ask for a motorcycle lane, like what we have in Suriname and in Holland and so on, and a bicycle lane, so that there will be less traffic hazard. And let's not reinvent the wheel, but follow what is successful already. And boom, I saw it in the newspaper. They say wise men think alike, Mr. Minister of Public Works. Thank you for coming up with the idea. I don't know if my head and yours touch together with the spirituality with which we both share, brilliance, love, and harmony. And that we touched in the universe the idea is to build a bicycle lane, and I'm asking for a motorcycle lane as well. We can do this. We got to prepare for the future of this country, beloved divine friends and families. Thank you. Nigel Dalarmlal, Honorable Minister, local government, you're doing fantastic, buddy. You're doing fantastic. People are going to try to humiliate you and embarrass you. Don't worry with those brigands, you know. And you don't worry with those brigands. They're talking about something about an $80,000 contract. I mean, it's so ridiculous. You know, trying to embarrass you, this poor guy. He need to go take care of his chicken. I heard he has a chicken farm. Mahipal, you need to go take care of the chicken dung, man. Convert it into mold or compost and market it and make some money, man. Take the chicken mold and make it into compost, man. Come on, behave yourself. Stop trying to humiliate the man. Trying to embarrass him. He's trying, you know, talking about an $80,000 contract. What a despicable man you are. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, let us continue to think about peace and goodwill and harmony in our country. Continuously love, joy, goodwill, even forgiveness. But also for those who cause death, burning, murder, and you can prove that they were involved through their words, be it guys announcing or talking on social media and trying to create a racial strife and a racial war, and then one big one went and said your response was right, that I think could be proven to show that he caused the murders. But, you know, it's up to the law enforcement agencies and the Attorney General to look into that. But for some cases we can forget. But when it comes to death, yes, we can forget and forgive. But when it comes to death and murder and destruction, how can we forget rapes of young ladies, feeding up of people's wives and daughters in front of them, punching man in the vehicle, burning the people trucks after you stole their paddy? How can these things be easily forgiven? I don't know. It's a good thing if you could forgive. But death, destroying families, breadwinners, murdered, young ladies raped, their life destroyed, their first experiences in that kind of thing, supposed to be loving and joy, but it was pain and slaughter. And no apology till now. Technically, the persons were not, those who were killing and beating and murdering and burning and looting and arsoning and punching and chopping and slaughtering. No one has called them off as yet. typically. And thank God to Miss Lawrence went and spoke to them, and the president announced that we're going to have an international inquiry into this, and it stopped. I mean, this is unforgivable. I wonder how such a man can wake in the mornings and go watch his face in the mirror. How can he sleep? Then I heard the guy, because I read from the newspapers, I make some commentary, he's calling my name in his sleep, he's jumping up and he's hollering Roshan Khan, screaming at me in my name in his dreams. This is what his best friends are telling me. And then he's in the office sitting down, propping sorrow, and he's thinking Roshan. What is Roshan doing? Roshan just reading some newspaper articles, man, making some positive comments, hoping for forgiveness, peace, and love and joy. While you're trying to destroy him, in reality, you're destroying yourself. That is what you do. You see, what you manifest in the human mind is what you achieve. If you manifest good thoughts and power of achievement, material, physically, spiritually, that is what you will that is what you will achieve. If it's jealousy, pain, hurt, confusion, distress, envies, that is what you will achieve. Every moment of your life will be a despicable moment. Friends and families, I was supposed to do a wider and thorough investigation of the Kaicho News by Peep and Tom, but I went through this commentary. One was to compliment the government for opening up the airport and appealing to us to work with them and talking about some general realities of what's happening in the country. So let us find ways to work for good and love and harmony and joy. Your friend, your brother, asking you to stay on for a wider and thorough investigation by Peep and Tom. Until then, farewell, friends. Thank you.